Hello, this is George Senda, the real, official, authentic, original, the one, the only, the official, the guy from Pittsburgh, except no cheesy YouTube commentators, imposters, or trolls who night a certain live feed where the evil troll from the great American Southwest, but actually Southwest East, complained that I ate all the miniature pizzas in 2 days. Not that it's any of his business. This is the same troll pretend to be a woman, sent me and Kathy a $100 used gift card, tried to claim I tried to con Target. And when I didn't, because he pretended to be a woman and said on the sewage gab website that he had to go become Gwen Poole, who doesn't exist. So he went in, and there were people pretending to be me yesterday, and there are people pretending to be today to be me when I was on the bus headed for Kathy's. This is my Safeway haul and Kathy's TV, which is odd because it's the same Sony Bravia as mine, a 48-inch non-4K Sony Bravia. It died today. Will not turn on anymore. And I'm not going to be eating anything online, and I'm not going to be showing you or telling how much I eat because it's nobody's business. You're not paying for it. So you see the last of me eating anything. All right. Polish kielbasa. Idiot's down there playing his crap music. Sliced peaches. Excuse my hair. 6 buses wore me out. 4-mil chili with beans, 4 cans. And the heat didn't bother me so much in Pittsburgh. When I got back, the heat bothered me when I got off the Safeway. Okay, this is Dove Pumpkins dark chocolate for Kathy. Box of Johnny Cat liners for Kathy. Never understood that, subjecting other people to your music. Okay, but premium deli oven roasted turkey breast. Mild Italian sausage. Next week, I'm going to get all the rest of the stuff for making spaghetti. Sourdough bread. The deviled egg potato salad. I need a haircut tomorrow. Kathy's coming tomorrow. We're going to go to Costco. We're going to go to the savings and loan or credit union. Open the account for the car. Guy called me about the car. Couldn't talk to you now. So I don't know. Getting it hard to get a hold of him. I guess he's running around a lot. We've technically sold the car. We just haven't gotten paid for it yet. We're working on it. That fell to the floor. Ham and cheese scramble, 2. Giant sandwich. Supreme pizza. Roach's Concord grape juice. And Florida's natural orange juice. That's it. I'm not going to let some troll son of a bitch get his amusement complaining about what I eat. All right. I don't see anybody in chat. Kathy's very upset at the TV, but Costco has a sale. Sony 65-inch TV sets with 4K for $750. So when we get the stimulus, if we get the stimulus, because today they tried to vote unanimously on a 1-week extension of unemployment. That failed. They tried to vote. Chuck Schumer said, "Why don't you vote on the HEROES Act?" That went over like a boat anchor on the Titanic crashing through the deck. So they got nothing done. Even though there was a story that Mnuchin has already said we're going to get the $1,200. And then 4 Republican senators want to not give us all $1,200. They want to give us all $1,000. I don't know what the hell that's going to go over like a lead weight too. All right, traditional pasta sauce. Parmesan cheese, and I forget if I showed you this can of peaches. So, and I gave, anyway, I got Kathy Smack to stop asking for the password every time it goes to sleep. I moved around the TV, found the manual on button, doesn't turn on anymore. It's dead. I got the Blu-ray player work, and her phone wasn't ringing because somehow she had shut the ringer off. So I fixed that. And then Cleo saw me. She was lying on a empty laundry bag and ran into the cabinets in the kitchen. I can never get to cuddle the babies. So, hello, Max. So, I'm tired. 5 buses, 87-degree heat, gasping for air on the way to the bus. Bus drivers all wanting me to go in the back door. I can't go in the back door. My knee is bad. Mommy dom. And Kathy's out schlepping to Safeway. I don't know why she's not back yet. So tomorrow we go out to Costco. I go pick up the iPad and Anchor. They have the defective charging cable. Are now trying to say after they said on Monday they would repair this. They're trying to say it's human force when I send this back to their engineers, and they're trying to weasel on paying for the repair. So I called Apple yesterday. I've been doing a lot of calling. And I said, does this happen very often to Apple Care? They said, it's not common. I don't think they want to admit that it's common because they don't get sued. Because one thing that happened about 5 years ago, this is an Apple charging cable for an iPad or iPhone. Rubber rots on these. And somehow the class action suit dropped. I think they got paid off. Because with millions of iPads and iPhones, they would have had to shell out a ton of money to pay everybody who had a charging cable that rotted and the wires broke and couldn't yet go and spend $20 more to buy a new charging cable. I had to buy 4 of them. So they said it's not common, but it does happen where the end of the cable right here will break off in the charging port. And if you can't get it out, you have to open up the iPhone or the iPad and either repair it. If it can't be repaired, you have to replace the charging port. But Anchor, being a large company, oh no, our quality standards are wonderful. We inspect everything. Yeah, just like they inspected this one. Where it frayed, or the other one that's down here somewhere. So, and I found a brand new one in my backpack in the case. I forgot I had. So I actually have 4. That one is intact for now. So $141. They're not going to stick me with that bill. I will take them to court and I'll sue them for the maximum, $5,000 for loss of income, aggravation, or whatever. So the rate these clowns are going in Congress, we may never get a stimulus. Remember, they're going in, tomorrow's the 31st, which means the 7th or the 8th, depending on who you listen to. They're going on yet another paid vacation. I had 1 paid vacation in my life when I worked, and I got sick because I worked too much. So they're going on another paid vacation all of August. They come back after Labor Day, and then you know what's going to happen after Labor Day. Well, they'll do Labor Day speeches, maybe, and then they'll go off on the campaign trail till November. Now, how much actual work these bozos are going to do is unknown. Not that they give a damn. They're all millionaires, and some of them are billionaires. And if somebody gets $1,000, and people like Mitt Romney and Rand Paul and 2 other senators don't want any stimulus money at all to anyone. They just want PPP and protecting an employer against hit it with a lawsuit for the coronavirus. But the regular people, and no mortgage act, no mortgage extension forgiveness, no rent forgiveness. We got ours. Let them live in the street. Ha 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 ha. We don't care if they get thrown out in the street. They're probably all Democrats anyway. Ha 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 ha. And now they're saying that Trump, a spokesman came out. President Trump said yesterday, I want bigger checks for everybody. And now his spokesman came out. That's not a bigger stimulus check. He wants bigger unemployment money checks. So I've been telling everybody, come November, whenever election day is, I've been too busy to look. I had to deal with Finger Hut today. Yesterday was Capital One and Finger Hut. Monday was Anchor. Yesterday was Anchor. Vote them all out. Democrat, Republican, if they don't want stimulus for the people, if they don't want deferring a mortgage for 30 years, if they don't want rent help, if they don't want SNAP for food stamps, screw them. And we don't need a new FBI building anytime soon. So, yeah, Mnuchin is $300 million, and Mitch McConnell went up from 22 million when I started looking to 33 million. Hello, Joseph. So that's what's going on. If I had $33 million and the two lottos are chintzy. One's 7, one's 20. The other one's 127. If I had 300 million, people I know online who have helped me, people I know who are having hardships would get a check. I would stimulate their economy. That's the kind of person I am, not a con man or any of the stuff that rotting roadkill slime says and his buddies. And so Bezos wouldn't give you the time of day. He doesn't even buy masks and protective gear for his workers. He got pressure because too many of his workers were coming down with the coronavirus. And then there is Herman Cain. Poor Herman Cain, black conservative, saved Godfather Pizza from going into bankruptcy. He ran the company and marketed it and saved it. He went to a Trump rally. He was sitting with a bunch of people. He was wearing no mask. And the poor bastard got the coronavirus, lingered for 36 days in the hospital, died today. He was 74. May rest in peace. He was a good man, an honorable man, a decent man. And you may remember when he ran for president, some weasel came out of Gloria Alder's office, some snake, some vermin. You talk about vermin, some cockroach, and said, "You sexually harassed me and you hindered me." And then when he dropped out of the presidential race, that woman went back into her hole, back into her roach motel. You never heard of her again. This is how the left destroys people and their character. And many of the people that have attacked me over the years are leftist. So, yeah, Herman Cain died. Good man. Didn't deserve to die of the coronavirus. Nobody does. The Black Blues Brothers got the coronavirus. His sister and his brother died of it. Another member of his family all got it. It's like it goes from person to person to person. You can't stop it. And a 41-year-old actor, his wife is mourning him. He was on some soap opera or something. He died. He lived in the hospital 35 days, I think. I read the story, but I can't remember the days. It's insidious. Now, some are saying that what's going to happen is around October, we will get news that the vaccine is efficacious. It works, no side effects, and Trump will release the news, and that will spur people to vote for him and reelect him. And yet, someone else, I think it may have been the creepy Fauci, said, or some expert, they always drag these experts out from God knows where, and they said we won't get the vaccine until 2021 because they have all these trials. So I block people when they make rude comments, and Conspiracy Podcast made a comment privately asking me if I had watched the gay porn that he downloaded to me. Now, you want to know why? That's why. So don't criticize me for blocking someone or being a total jerk and a troll. Don't act like they're the innocent victims and they did nothing. I've gotten 3 guys asking that question, and I'm tired of it. I don't block people on a whim. I block them because they're not respecting the host. They're not respecting the creator of the video. They're not respecting me as a human being. They're not respecting me as a senior citizen or a YouTuber. So the hell with them. Come in with that filth, or you still beat Kathy, or you're a con man, or you're stealing from my water, you're robbing from the taxpayer. The usual BS. Like when I went to the hospital and was very close to dying because I couldn't get any air in my lungs. You're taking a hospital room up. They've said that 3 times or 4 times that someone else might need when there were only 3 people in the hospital in the ER who weren't staff. You're stealing from the taxpayer. Well, I paid into my taxes when I worked for a living. I paid into Medicare. I paid into Medi-Cal. I paid into state disability, and I paid income taxes. So screw you, troll. I don't hate anybody except these trolls. And, well, I take that back. I do hate one entity, the premier of communist China, who foisted this disease on the world, who should be taken out and hung from a flagpole upside down with a certain portion of anatomy in his mouth, like the mafia did for traitors. No, I did not watch the Muslims' eulogy. I was on the bus from 1 o'clock till about 8:20 when I came home and I had to run for the bathroom. I ate a bunch of grapes and attacked me. So, as Rush Limbaugh says, John Lewis was from the Congressional Black Caucasians, professional leftists, professional race baiters, just like those who want reparations, professional victimhood. So he doesn't matter to me. He may have marched with Martin Luther King or whatever, but a lot of these guys, they wear these things on their shoulder like a badge of honor. They're in Congress for 40 or 50 years. They don't pass any substantive legislation, and they use it as a platform for social change or to complain. It's just like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, 2 of the biggest con men ever who have weaseled millions out of American companies by blackmailing them. We will boycott your products, or we will picket your businesses. And the other thing, the policeman who fought for his life, who fought a black thug in Ferguson, Missouri, who stole a box of cigars and then got a hold of the cop's gun and tried to kill him with his own gun. Well, now they're not going to prosecute him. It only took a couple of years. I don't know if Ferguson will riot again. They went in and they burned down Home Depot. They burned down donut shops. They burned down black-owned businesses. And people there were brought in on buses. They were paid for by George Soros. They were not legitimate protesters. A number of them, like we saw in Houston and elsewhere, do not live in the town. They're brought in to agitate, to riot, to burn, to loot, and to disrupt. So, well, I'm not going to allow that one because I don't think all NBA players are that. I think some are. I think some NFL players are that. Some Major League Baseball players are that. And many, they are, I agree with BLM, but not all of them either. So, no, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter because it is racist in and of itself. that only Black Lives Matter and whites, Asians, Latinos, people of oceanic extraction, Europeans, other Africans, other Asians mean nothing. Pay attention to me. We're victims. And nobody else is the victim, but you have to pay attention to us. And if you don't pay attention to us, we'll show up at your place of business and disrupt you. We'll attack you for your views. We'll try to shut down your political thought because only our opinion matters. That's what Black Lives Matter means. Well, you know, I've watched fishing. Either sport fishing or a guy sitting in an aluminum boat. How thrilling is fishing? You know, you throw the rod out, you've got your bait or you've got your fly, and you wait for the bass or whatever to grab it, and you pull the fish in. And combat sports, I don't, except for boxing, I don't watch kickboxing, MMA, or whatever the hell it is. Some of the stuff they do is, to me, barbaric. They're maiming the hell out of these people. Okay. When I was a child, my mother worked as a nurse at McGee Hospital. She was a charge nurse on the floor when I was brought in and was pronounced dead, but that's another animal. And she knew a lot of very high-powered people. My mother wouldn't use her advantage to make herself rich. I've never understood that, or figure a way to make herself more money. So she slogged in the trenches as every nurse does, but I was a very curious kid, and I would mostly walk into somewhere, hi, what you doing? And I don't remember the circumstance of how, but I used to hang around Pitt a lot, the University of Pittsburgh. When I was 16, I went there for a year and moved back to California in the gifted student program. And in the basement of the University of Pitt, medical school was, or dental school, I cannot remember, but the building's still there, the basement's still there, was the laboratory of Dr. Jonas Salk, the developer of one of two of the polio vaccine. The other one was Sabin, but Sabin had major problems. They had to recall it, I think. I'm 5, I'm sitting in there and I'm reading and I'm talking to him, and my mother calls, how are you doing? How's he doing? Well, Mrs. Senda, he's doing fine. There's no problem with him, except he's asking medical questions I don't know how to answer. And he worked in that lab for years after he developed the polio vaccine until he came up with the Salk Institute in California and moved to California. I also watched them work on things in the NASA lab in 1968 in another basement of another building across the street. We got to learn how to shatter a rose with liquid oxygen and liquid nitrogen. They did one thing I thought was cool.